Yeah.
All right, we are live. All right, so I am in charge right now until we reorg. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to call this meeting to order, 6:30 Recreation Committee meeting, 7/28, 2026. We're going to do a quick roll call. And those are on Zoom right now. I will have to unmute you. We're just trying to be mindful of potential Zoom bombs. So I will unmute you when it's coming over to you, but we're going to start in the room with a roll call for Recreation Committee members.
Rich Hand here.
Bob Wyden here.
Eric Affen here.
Kate Kaminer here.
Nancy Zinlat here. Laura Durgovich here. Laura Noonan here.
Bachi here.
Giuseppe Federa here.
Online?
Karen Rosgillis here. Oh, sorry.
Nick Pezzatoro.
One more time, Nick. Sorry, cut you off.
Nick Pezzatoro here.
All right. And you guys, I trust you guys can mute yourself when need be, I believe. And we got one more Recreation Committee member walking in right now as we do roll call.
Here.
All right, so we're going to start with our first agenda item, and that is the nomination for Recreation Chair. And that needs to start with the nomination. I did speak with Jane Roman. How they do it is typically if you would like to nominate someone, you will nominate them now. There will need to be a second and then discussion. And then if someone would like to nominate someone else, we will nominate them now. So if there's 2 people who are nominated for the chair, 3 people, we'll go around and you'll cast your vote for who you want to be chair, just to save some time. So that's where we're going to start. So we're opening up for a nomination for a Recreation Chair for this year.
I'd like to nominate Rich Hand for another term. Yeah.
Second.
Discussion? No, just,
I was gonna actually do that too. So.
yeah, we'll open it up to any more nominations. Seeing none, no discussion. So we are going to ask for a motion
Make a motion to appoint Rich Hand as chair of the Recreation Committee.
do a vote.
Is a second.
I'll second the motion.
Discussion? Go around the room.
You first.
Aye.
Gotta do roll call. You better vote.
Roll call because your name's, because Nick's on it.
Oh, Rich Hand, aye.
Yes.
Bob Wyden, yes.
Eric Affen, yes.
Kate Kaminer, yes.
I don't think I can vote.
Nope.
Melissa.
Laura Durgovich, yes. Laura Noonan, yes.
Giuseppe Federa, yes.
Melissa Pucci, yes.
Online is nobody that is a full member. All right. Was that 6?
Yes, I got it.
6-0. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Handing the meeting over to
Thank you, everybody.
Mr. Hand once again, and now you have to do the next
Yeah.
I think
nomination.
it's 7-0.
7-0?
Okay.
Thank you.
3, 4, 5, 6,
Eight.
8, 7, or 8.
All right.
Zero.
8 of us.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow, this is a full house today. So thank you, everybody, for your confidence in me. Appreciate that. So now it's my honor to look for a candidate for vice president right now.
Vice Chair.
Vice chair. I'll nominate Bob. Any discussion? No discussion, so we'll do a vote. Roll call.
A motion again, right?
I'll make a motion for Bob Wyden to be voted vice chair as Recreation.
I'll second it. Any discussion? Thank you. Keeping us honest.
Sorry.
And since there's no discussion, we'll do a roll call vote. Rich Hand, yes.
Bob Wyden, yes.
Eric Affen, yes.
Kate Kaminer, yes.
Laura Durgovich, yes. Laura Noonan, yes.
Giuseppe Federa, yes.
Melissa Pucci, yes.
That's it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. So a couple of things before we start our meeting. First, I'd like to welcome Carlos to our Carlo to our meeting. Thank you for stepping up and volunteering for us. Love to have you, and thank you for keeping us in line here with the right procedures. So appreciate that. The other thing, just want to let everyone know tonight at 7:30, the select board is having a meeting, so we'd like to try to keep the meeting to 7:30, so public comment, we'll try to keep it to 2 minutes each person. So we're under the clock a little bit tonight for that. And the other thing I just want to say too, from a public comment standpoint, so we have two items we'll probably have public comment on, or you can make other public comments, but one is the amplified sound and the pickleball discussion. So we'll have those public comments during those agenda items. So we won't have it starting off with that, if that's okay with everybody. Okay.
Makes sense.
All right. First up is the amplified sound. So we have a request for amplified sound for third.
I must be out of agendas. There's someone else that's here. There's.
I got an extra one. All right, thank you.
And Pat Silva is online right now. If he does want to speak, you can raise your hand, Pat, and I will let you speak. I have to allow you to speak. So if you'd like to speak on behalf of the amplified sound, I can let you do that.
Okay.
Or you can nod your head or give a thumbs up, Pat, if you'd like to speak on behalf of it. Okay. We don't want to be Zoom bombed.
Okay.
You should be able to unmute, Pat. I'm
So,
going to let Rich read it first.
yeah, so this event is going to be held on July 30th. It's the last game of the All-Star Summer Team, the 11-year-old division. It's open to general public. It's going to be held at Huntsfield for 4 hours, starting at 4 p.m. The equipment is going to be the sound equipment such as speakers, mixers, and microphone, general announcement, and music. And also, let's like to note too, is that we did receive an email from a neighbor concerning the amplified sound for this. Do they have it in their packet?
What's that? No, that came in late last night.
Okay, so I'll just paraphrase it a little bit, what their concerns are, and we'll make this available for everybody. One was the concern was the level of sound that has been done previously at Huntsfield. The other one is that it seems that there's been music at Huntsfield that wasn't permitted at the time. The other thing is that they think that these events, from a music standpoint, is happening on a routine basis. They said that they've reached out to the Little League to talk about this and try to work things through, but they haven't had any reaction or follow-up from the Little League leadership team. And the other thing they made a comment on is around parking issues during the baseball games as well.
And if I can jump into this, is the first time we've had a formal complaint come in like this to Little League from this resident that did send it in. I've never had anyone call about parking issues over at Hunt Park. And I think the issue that happened last Sunday, I know it wasn't involving this team here. And I will say amplified sound, everyone has a Bluetooth speaker now, so it is hard to certainly police when we're going to fields. My daughter plays softball and they are rolling with a big boombox and nobody knows the rules. So it is certainly a challenge. They did submit this one as they should. So that's my 2 cents on how I've seen it and what I've seen over the past few years. We do get a few calls. We do get a call about the basketball courts at Bancroft. And then our summer camp program where our counselors were blasting music at Coolidge, and we did shut that down too. So this one here that is applying is separate from what happened, I believe, last week. They were not playing.
Is this the first request that we've had for this field this year?
Yes.
Minus through Little League, yes, but we also had Hunt Park host the Challenger baseball game at the beginning of the season that was approved by us.
Okay.
I think Pat is on unmute. Pat, I'm not sure if you want to say anything.
Not really. Just I think the permit request speaks for itself, but I wanted to be here in case there were any questions or anything like that regarding what the expectations were for Thursday, barring no rain. Hopefully that's not what happens on Thursday for us.
And congrats to Pat and his 11-year-old baseball team for being the first 11-year-old baseball team to win the state championship game and will be representing Massachusetts up in Beverly this weekend. So, congrats on that.
Excellent.
That's enough of me.
What was the time for the request?
Part eight.
So is this game having to do with is it like another championship over that team or?
So Pat, correct me if I'm wrong. This is their last game of their Bay State team and these kids play together. They're moving up to a new field and a new division next year. So this is kind of their little send off for the summer going into this state championship.
Oh, but it's not the championship. They already.
No, this is separate.
Is there a plan for music that night?
Yes. Yep, there is music, yep, and general announcements.
Pat, do you want to speak to the music as far as,
I gotta unmute him. Should be all set, Pat.
The music would be a little bit pregame, somewhat between innings, but the real request here is for walk-up songs for these kids. They've wanted to do it all summer long. We play at Hunt Field where that's not allowed. So from the beginning of the summer, the kids were begging for it and we told them we couldn't do it. So for our last time playing at Hunt Field as this team, I told them I would apply for a one-day permit to try and do that for them.
And Pat, anything you're looking at in terms of how to make sure the volume is consistent in terms of reasonable?
So it's just like Jim described, it's going to be like one of those Bluetooth speakers. It's probably 12 inches in diameter. And one mom or dad, we haven't decided that yet because we haven't had to do it all summer. We'll run an app basically that has an AI voice that says the kid's name and then probably 8-second clip of a song, however long it takes to walk from the end of the dugout to the home plate, and then it stops. So.
Yeah, I guess I was just thinking about the volume in terms of keeping
I
it.
mean, I would, I guess,
Yeah.
be the one that would police that, I guess. It certainly wouldn't be overly loud. It would be loud enough that it would probably put the speaker very close to home plate. So it probably, I don't know, probably wouldn't even escape too far out of the ballpark would be my guess.
I'm so far like inclined to approve this because this team deserves something like this. I just had a question. 4 hours. Does the game start at 4? Do you really expect the game to be going at 8 o'clock?
Nope, I certainly hope not, or we've done something terribly wrong. So I just did a 4-hour block. I wasn't sure how this permit would be approved, and so I did more hours than would be. We probably wouldn't even show up until 4:30, 4:45. We'd play, low level music while the kids warm up. The game starts at 5:45, and typically at this age level, we're out of there in an hour and 15 to an hour and 30 minutes. There won't be a national anthem. Typically, that's something we would do with this, but this league that this last game is for is not something that typically does that. So I don't want to delay the start of the game for the umpires or the other team, even though a short time. And like I said, the general announcements would just be that AI voice that says the kid's name on his way up. So really no like announcing or I don't know, any other thing that you could think of that would happen, like no play-by-play or anything like that you'd hear at a football game or something like that.
Well, what time does the game actually start?
5:45 p.m.
I too will support the application, but can we have Jim maybe contact the neighbor prior to game and have a conversation?
I have no issues with that, yeah. And I can have a conversation with Little League as well too, after hearing his concerns as well and make sure.
Yeah.
I don't think there's many games left, Pat, in this season over there.
no, there's
So
not.
everything would be have to be done by Friday for Bay State baseball. That goes for all age levels, all teams.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Any other discussions or comments? All right, so we need a,
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
all right. Okay. Do a roll call vote. Rich Hand, yes.
Bob Wyden, I'm going to recuse myself as I am on the Little League board.
Eric Gaffin, yes.
Kate Cameron, yes.
Laura Durgovich, yes. Laura Noonan, yes.
Giuseppe Federi, yes.
Melissa Pucci, yes.
All right.
Cheat again. 8-0. You are.
No,
7-0.
7.
I didn't.
Bob recused.
Yep. So
It's good.
you're all set.
All right, thank you.
Congratulations and good luck. And safe
Appreciate it.
tournament.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good luck. Thanks, Pat.
All right. Next up is the temporary light request
I think we have
for,
one more amplified sound in there, Rick. This second one. Is there?
sorry, didn't see that one. All right, this one is for on Thursday, August 13th. It's a free outdoor community movie screening for the general public. It's on the town common. The time is 6:30 to 10:30 p.m.
Mention who it's for.
Oh, is for the RCTV Reading Community Television. The movie screen is between 8 and 9:30. Sound equipment is going to be speakers, mixers, and microphone, and general announcements.
That's fun.
Yeah, not sure it is. Probably, yeah.
I'm sure they're playing something PG, but they have said what movie they were gonna be playing, you know.
I will follow up, and I feel as if it is something that potentially could have sound that may not be good for young ears. I will follow up with
Yeah.
you if you would like. But I'm assuming RCTV has some standards, and I'm assuming they have licensing where they can only play certain movies.
All right.
I'll make a motion to approve it as is.
I'll second it.
All right.
Discussion.
Any discussion? No discussion. Let's do a roll call vote. Rich Hand, yes.
Bob Wyden, yes.
Eric Gaffin, yes.
Kate Hammer, yes.
Laura Durgovich, yes.
Laura Newman, yes.
Giuseppe Federi, yes.
Melissa Pucci, yes.
All right. This request has been approved. Right now we can go on temporary.
You got it. Yep, I'm gonna get some folks here too.
Okay. Who's going to speak first?
Just introduce yourself and address.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Kaler from Reading United South. I'm Jeff Mull. We're both board members of the club. The secretary on the town board.
Okay.
If you want to just tell us exactly what you're looking for.
Sure. Yeah. So the accident happened at Driscoll. The storms took the lights out. I think probably everybody's familiar with the difficulties that created to youth sports in Reading. So the way that Russ adapted last fall was we used temporary lighting at Simons. Simons is a fall soccer field for us that we use in the fall. And so last fall to adapt, we used temporary lighting at Simons, and it worked great. You know, it allowed us to maintain the level of service for our teams that typically use Bristol. Ends up being about 225 kids. Okay. So being able to use Simons, being able to have temporary lights at Simons last fall was an enormous help to us. And we were able to maintain the level of service, maintain the level of practices, games, all of that for our players. And I was saying that it works out to about 225 kids in our grade 5-6 level and our grade 7-8 level. One tricky part to last fall we used 4 light stands because we wanted to be mindful of baseball's use of Simons, and so we wanted to stay out of the infield. So we had the 4 lights along the perimeter of the outfield for folks that are familiar with Simons, which worked. It was fine. It allowed us to have practice, but some improvements would be appreciated by the teams because you get to the other half of the field and you were in the dark. So it kind of limited our ability to use the whole field. So this year, in consultation with baseball folks, Ren Babe Ruth, kind of asked, they mind if this year we asked for 6 light stands so that we could more sort of thoroughly cover the entirety of the soccer field. Mike Wondolf, he was the person we spoke to. He spoke to some of the Babe Ruth folks, and the word we got was that was going to be okay for them. So we are proposing 6 light stands this time. Baseball has indicated to us that they're able to use other baseball fields. So we think it's a win-win, and happy to answer any questions.
And to jump in, so they did come to us last year asking for those 4 lights. They were approved. And this situation greatly helps me because we are down a field right now and we are very short on field space. So this helps me significantly with getting these kids out there because it is going to be a tough fall until we get those lights put up, hopefully after July 1 next year. So I do appreciate the request.
Do you expect the 6 locations to be similar, like along the outer side of it, outside of it, or would there be a couple kind of like on the edge of the infield facing, going the opposite direction for like cross coverage?
That, and that's one of the advantages of having the support of baseball
Yeah.
or being in consultation with baseball, because we avoided doing that last year because we didn't want to affect fall baseball. And the lights are hard to move. So if we're going to put them in the infield, they're going to be there for fun.
Yeah.
So we do want to have 3 along that side and 3 along the outfield.
Good. Yeah, man.
And what's your timing? Lights to be up and taken down?
Yeah, so the game season for us is September 12th to November 14th. That's the widest window. We typically start practice about a week before the first game. So we would anticipate having the lights up from about September 5th to approximately November 14th. November 14th is a makeup date for the league. So if, it's possible we'd be out of there sooner, but
Our regular season ends on the 7th.
Yeah.
If we do have any makeup games, we would like to practice, that extra week. But if we have no makeup games, then we could cut this short by 1 week. Depends on, rainouts and other things that happen.
Okay. And last time we had no complaints or any issues.
All I just ask is when the lights are arriving, you let me know so I can let Burbank know and let TPW know too, so that there's no surprise when they just show up.
Yeah, they will show up, but the contractor, I don't believe is allowed to actually put them on the field. That's something that they stop short at, so they won't trample the field with any.
Yep. The Parks Department will do that for you. So as soon as they get dropped off, I will put in a C-click fix for them to get up there. So great.
What kind of, are they electrical? Is it solar?
so these would be gas powered. We find that provides the best quality light at this point. We have used solar in the past at Coolidge.
It was bright,
Yeah.
really, and that's one of the things we kind of bounced around was the safety of the kids was important, so we went with a stronger powered light. The gas.
Last year was the gas powered as well.
Yeah.
And are these going to be at Coolidge as well, or is it just?
No, we're just here for assignments.
It was just an example what we used.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Are you going to be making a request for Coolidge this year as well?
We don't
No.
anticipate doing. No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Discussion? So if we do a vote, right?
Make a motion to approve the temporary light request by Reading United Soccer.
Second?
Any discussion? All right, let's do a roll call. Rich Hand? Yes.
Bob Wyden, yes.
I will abstain.
Kate Kaminer, yes.
Laura Durgovich, yes.
Laura Noonan, yes.
Giuseppe Federa, yes.
Melissa Pucci, yes.
So. Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, you guys can take off.
Unless you want to hang around.
Good luck this season. Good luck. Thank you.
Good luck. Thanks, guys.
Mike, tell you
Yeah.
What's that?
You gotta present the,
Yeah.
okay.
I will direct that because I coach a 7th, 8th grade.
So next, I'll turn it over to Jim here, talk about the pickleball court, but just before we talk about it, I was down there yesterday. Courts look beautiful, by the way. They look great. I mean, the fence is up, the concrete is in, the lights are up. It's gonna be beautiful. It really is gonna be world class, I think, those courts down there. So I think I'm looking forward to going down there and playing sometime as well. So you want to take?
All right. So I'm going to do a quick little presentation. Should take about 5 minutes. This is a discussion and a draft. Nothing here is set in stone, and I want to be very clear about this. I've been tasked to come up with some policies to move forward More than likely, this is going to start next year. So we know they're opening this fall. We don't know when. Whatever policies we have, I'm not going to install them until next year. I'm looking at this fall is it's going to be open play with reservations that will be allowed, but it's going to be open play similar to what we have at Memorial Park. That's what I'm hoping for right now. I'm not going to charge anybody if we do decide to go with a charging mechanism. I'm not going to charge them this fall season. But this is what I'm looking at based on some research and talking to a lot of folks. I did meet with RPPA. It was probably a month and a half or 2 months ago with some initial thoughts, and it brought up a lot of conversation. So I wanted to bring it to the Recreation Committee to have an open discussion and see if I'm somewhere in the ballpark, or if I'm not, or if they think I'm somewhere in the ballpark, or if I'm not too. So I want it to be kind of a little bit of an open dialogue here while we go through this. I'm going to ask if I'll just watch this, listen, take your notes, and then after this is over, we'll have a discussion. And then I think you said you were going to open up public comment.
Exactly, right.
The public.
Yep.
To talk. All right. It is a little bit of a lot. So these are the proposed court reservations that will play. The goal here is we want to provide equitable access for residents and visitors while balancing reserve court time, open play, recreation division programs, leagues, tournaments, and other authorized activities. When putting this together, I'll keep it in mind about what happened at town meeting and what town meeting members want, what pickleball wants to. So I try to come up with an idea that blends all of it together that I hope is a win-win for the players, the community, and what town meeting voted on. So courts are going to be open from 8 to 10. Lights will go on at sunset automatically and shut off at 10 p.m. following the similar light policies we have across all of our fields. Courts will remain open typically through December 1st. I know there's been talk about, do we keep them open in the winter right now? I'm trying to be consistent what we do with tennis, and there's a few reasons, meaning that the nets do get damaged in the winter, potential for some damage to happen to the courts if people are shoveling, but I'm being a little bit lenient when we're going to close them. If we don't have a lot of snow in December, similar with tennis, we're not going to shut them down if it's really nice out and there's no snow on the court. And then similar to when we open them up, if we don't get any snow and the birds start chirping in February and the sun comes out, we can open up early. I would certainly do that too. Court reservations. So all the court reservations will be managed through the Recreation Division. For this season, it's definitely still going to be through Play Local, similar to what we do with tennis and what we do at Memorial Park right now. We are transitioning to a new recreation software when we go over to the Reading Center for Active Living. So potentially we could be transferring to that software, which will allow reservations on our platform a little sooner than when we get in that building. We'll see if we get there and if the system can do absolutely everything we want it to do. We've been told it can, so it might be some fine tweaking before we do open up the spring 27 season. Playtime schedule, it's not going anywhere. I understand that. It's a great way for folks to find partners when they do end up booking courts or reserving courts. So that will still be an option. It's just not going to be a way to secure the courts. This is, I know, the hot topic item, the proposed fees. Again, I'm keeping in mind what happened at town meeting. I looked at what other towns do, and when I look at this, an adult resident membership for a full year for $50, what this would do is it would allow you to reserve court times on the courts. And what I'm looking at, you'll see moving forward, would be whoever gets a reservation or a membership pass for that $50 for the year, you're allowed to book one court for up to 2 hours per day. I'll get into the details of how it's going to work as far as who can show up. Do you need to be a member if somebody else booked the court? I'll get to that. I think it's going to work out for the community. Non-resident membership, we would bump up that cost. I know there's a lot of RPPA members that are from out of town that do travel. I don't want to price them out, so it's a little bit of a bump. And we have to keep in mind with the park rent, we can only, I talked to Andrew McNichol today, we can only double the amount that we charge non-residents. The max we could charge a non-resident would be capped at $100. So if we do 50 for a resident, it can only go to 100 for a non-resident. Senior residents with the Recal Center there, trying to keep those costs down. I know they're getting hit hard right now. So that would be 30 for a year. A senior non-resident would be 45. The youth, we want them out there playing. So 17 and under would be free. They could book a court themselves. Maybe mom and dad don't play a lot. They like to play. As long as there is an adult on the court with them. Again, this is up for debate. And then I like to put a cap on families. If you have a large family and you have a bunch of young kids or adult children who are living at home with you, what a lot of folks are finding, I would like to cap it for a family max of For resident, 125 per season, and a non-resident membership too. And with this, we could put restrictions on it as far as how many residents can get memberships, and non-residents too. If we see that the courts are being taken by non-residents, we can certainly cap this as well. This is just a quick little drawing. I added in the new colors too. They were lighter green, but I spoke with our PPA and we've added in this, I think it's I don't think we're allowed to call it a USTA blue anymore. It's called something else. But we did add a blue in there, just from some feedback from the players about the colors of the balls, and it's a darker forest green too. And a lot of courts do this as well. This is just a quick rendering I kind of put together. There will be a shade structure where it says plaza. I never noticed that it said plaza on there, but that's kind of the main entryway over there. So this is how the courts would be lined: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, with 7 being the large court at the end. So the way I'm looking at it right now, and again, this is open for discussion, courts 1 through 5, those would be the reservable courts, meaning if you had a membership, you could reserve those courts whenever you want. Reserved courts are intended for exclusive use of the individual holding the reservation. Just because these are reservable courts doesn't mean they're always going to be reserved. If these courts, if there's nobody on them, you are certainly more than welcome to go out there, and you do not need to have a membership. If somebody shows up and they have a reservation for this court, similar to what we have at tennis, then you're going to have to exit that court and go to the next available court. Courts 6 and 7, we kind of discussed this a while ago with our PPA. Those would always be dedicated for open play, meaning those 2 far courts, 6 and 7, would be always available for anyone to show up, whether you had a membership or not, and it's open play. If nobody's there, you can play as long as you want. If a group comes up, they can go on that second court, play as long as they want. If a third group comes up, when your game's over, you got to get back in the queue, and we'd probably utilize a paddle system. So there's always going to be 2 courts open for open play that would not require any type of membership. But you would not be able to guarantee if you would be able to play right away. You may have to wait a little bit. Designated open play periods. This can be very flexible based on community demand. The Reading Rec Division may periodically designate additional courts and or specific time periods for more open play, meaning instead of just those 2 courts, there might be a Friday night social club, Sunday night morning, we could open up more courts. I would like to utilize our PPA. They did send me over a wonderful graph, by the way, a really nice graph that had different levels with different play times on different days, so that when we do open play things like this, you're going to a group that you're going to be able to compete with and not feel intimidated. So we would work with them to try to work this out. Open play, it encourages participation, players of all skill levels, and matching them with the appropriate players. Like I said, it promotes social play, well-being, and community engagement. It increases portability for individuals who are new to the game. It can be intimidating, you don't know what to do. I think we've done a great job down at Memorial Park with our PPA and getting new people involved in the game, meeting new friends, and finding players that are similar to their ability. So I would like to continue that when these courts open up. We post these on the town website so everyone knew when they were. And we realized that these could change throughout the year as far as what's working, what's not working. So we are going to be flexible with this until we find something that sticks, I guess. Rec Division, we'd have certainly our programs out there. I'd work with our PPA again to make sure we're not stepping on their toes, where we could do instructional lessons, leagues, it could be tournaments, special events, fundraisers. There's going to be days where we may have to do maintenance out there if there's a lot of pine needles or something like that. So throughout the years, throughout the weeks, things could pop up here and there, but we're going to try to make sure we are open about this, because we do got to bring in some money with these courts out here. We all know it's coming towards an override, so there's going to be a lot of pressure on my division to bring in money where we can, but I also don't want to tax the residents too much. So again, I'm trying to come up with something fair. I'm also going to look into sponsorships. That's something that's going to be coming up with the select board, coming up with a sponsorship model to potentially get some businesses to sponsor courts for the year. So I've been looking at what other towns do, and you can get $500 upwards to $1,000 per court. So I'm hoping to have a policy set up before the courts open up next year. Not officially, we'll say open up next year. They are going to open up this fall. Is that it? Sorry, I have one more slide in there. I think that was I think that was it. So I'm going to open it up. Well, you can take it from there.
Yeah.
So that's my presentation. Again, this is a draft. I want get feedback from as many people as I want. I'm a one-person show and haven't played pickleball unfortunately yet, so I am happy to take feedback on what you guys have seen if you played, and then listen to what our PPA has to say.
Yeah, thanks for pulling this together. So we know this is a discussion. So this is what we're going to talk about to help Jim and his team write the right policy for us. I see you have a call.
I just had one comment.
Sure.
When you had talked about the park grant, you had said in terms of what you can charge Reading residents and non-residents, and you had said double the amount. My recollection was that you couldn't charge non-residents more than 50% more. So when you say double, that's like 100% more.
Yes.
So I just want to make sure, because my recollection was it couldn't be more than 50% more. So say we charge Reading residents $20, then you could only charge a non-Reading, like a North Reading resident, $30, but you couldn't charge 40. So when you said double, that's the only thing that
Yeah, I
think
called
you're not
Andrew
right
and I
about that. Okay.
could be wrong because I thought it was double as well. And I called Andrew and same situation. I think it's 50%.
It's not double.
Again, this is why this is
50% more. No, I'm totally right.
a draft.
I'm pretty sure it's 50%.
But the $70 would still fit in the.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think that what they have up there still works. But
Yeah, but I just want to make sure if
Moving
you're
forward.
commenting on what the policy is, I just want to make sure that just look up the provisions of the park grant, I would say, because that was a discussion at town meeting. It was like an ad nauseam discussion. Definitely remember it.
Yeah, go.
I would say if, as far as a fee, if they're limiting us to just 50% more than what we're charging residents, I would go to the max that we can charge to, you gotta, this does have to be a cost center fee, unfortunately, and I think
For
that's.
the non-resident.
Yes, I agree with him.
I agree with that.
Yeah, so you might want to change the 125 to a different number, so it's a round number when you do 50%.
Good idea.
Oh, yeah, right,
You might charge people 50 cents on each foot. Overall, Jim, this is great. I appreciate the work that you put into it. I know that you in years past as pickleball issues and items and opportunities have come up, you always reach out to a lot of the fellow communities to get insight and input. And then ideally take what's best for Reading and put it into place. So it looks like that's what you've done here. I think that the fee structure is eminently reasonable, to the point, to Bob's point, and, Laura, you referenced the town meeting. That was a long discussion, about getting approval for the funding for this, is making sure that there was some element of, some revenue generation to help offset the taxpayer dollars that were going to be put into creating the courts. So I think that you've done that. I think that's a respectful nod to the wishes of town meeting, over those 2 nights that we talked about it. And yeah, I mean, I know there'll be tweaks. I know there'll be adds and edits and changes, but I think it's a great start, and it's a great baseline. So thanks.
Jim, in terms of the membership fees,
Mhm.
I know that you had a separate fee up there for seniors.
Mhm.
I believe that the rec department has funding if there's any families that might have financial
Mhm.
challenges that.
100%, we would still do that. The way it's set up right now is we typically, if somebody needs a scholarship, it's one scholarship kind of per season. This is a full season, but I can see us adopting a policy here, for financial aid for folks that need it, that would come directly through me and I'd approve it. It's never gone to the recreation committee. I think we've been pretty fortunate where we don't get a lot of them. I don't abuse it. But if it started getting abused or we felt like it was being abused, I can certainly bring to the rec committee and we can try to come up with a policy maybe that you guys are approving moving forward. But I don't like to say no. I don't think anyone does. So yeah, we could certainly continue to do so.
Yeah, because it's not just seniors that might live on a fixed income,
100%.
might have an individual with disabilities who might be on a fixed income, so.
Yeah,
Just keeping that in mind.
And having those open courts too, I mean, I hope that will help alleviate some folks too. And I mean, will the courts be booked every day at 9 a.m. on a warm Saturday? Probably not, or, later in the evening, maybe with the lights down there, but I'm hopeful that there will be just some open courts for folks that don't have to get a membership, as well. And then just doing research on other towns too. Some towns charge, some do not charge. I think we're one of the newest facilities, and Like Lexington, they do charge for a membership. They charge for tennis too, and they're charging $205 a summer. And then Andover does charge too for, they call it like a premium pass where they can play at night. I think that's $75 just to play between the hours of 5 and 9 over there. They get a little band that they have to put on their paddle in order to be able to play there too. But there are towns that don't charge too. So I was trying to find something a little bit more reasonable than $205. So.
And that 200,
Are we
go ahead.
too late?
What's that?
We a little too reasonable?
I'm not the end all say all. That's why I have a recreation committee here.
Can you put the fees back up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I looked up when I was at work today, only 2 towns. And I looked up, and I don't know what their courts look like because I don't well, but Wilmington I thought was free. And then Winchester was $35 for non-residents and they didn't charge for residents. But I don't know if their courts look anything like what ours look like, but that's kind of what I had in my head. And then we got here and I heard him do this presentation and say all that. And I'm like, oh, interesting that I looked at like the cheapest.
Wilmington has beautiful courts.
Do they? Are they free? Because I think I found some people that are free.
Yeah, they're brand new.
I don't think at night you have to be. I was there last night.
It was 35 per game or per year?
No, Winchester was 30, from what I saw on my quick Google search, was $35 for the season if you were a non-resident. And it was free for residents. And then Wilmington, it just said free. So.
Ruben charges too,
Yeah, so Wellesley, Waltham.
Those fees.
the nominal 50 or 75
A
bucks
lot of folks are charging.
for residents. And Richmond, okay,
Is that for like per booking or is that per?
the season pass, right?
Those are at Library Park, right? Those, I think it's 3 courts over there. So I'm open to get feedback from the recreation committee if I'm too steep, but if I'm too low, like I said, I don't want to price anybody out. I really don't. I just want to be respectful of what we heard at town meeting too, and not have someone come back to me and say, you didn't do what we said on the town meeting floor. So I understand both sides.
Yeah.
It's tricky.
And you're right. I think it's gonna have to be a balance, right? You don't want to be too expensive for people who won't play, but you need some amount to meet our obligation for the town as well.
And we did do this with tennis 20 years ago when we built those courts. Kate can speak more on that. It was $25 for a tennis pass. You had to come to the rec and you had to purchase it. It was $25 for a resident. We had staff down there, and then it was $100 for a non-resident to come down there. And they'd sign in with a staff that was down there too.
That was 25 years ago.
That was probably, what was it, about 20 plus years ago?
Years ago.
Those were steep fees done 25 years ago.
Yeah.
We were actually trying to discourage non-resident use. We were illegal with the $100 non-resident, but we didn't know it at the time. But it did the trick. We signed it. Got rid of the.
So I think Melissa touched upon it. So the 2, 6, and 7 are no membership required, always open play unless the town needs it or there's.
That would be posted.
Right, okay, so
And those 2 are fenced off from the 1 through 5, right?
So there's fences in between all the courts. You've got it.
But the signage.
So there would be signage, separate signage on there. I'm not ordering signage until it's freezing. I wanted to pull up the court photos. Go this way. Yeah. So it'd be 6 and 7 over there. The main entranceway is right where that little says plaza on it, right through there. So there'd be signage on court 6 and 7, and there'd be signage right on the front that would say that too.
7's a larger court. Is
6,
that
7 is, so they are all handicap accessible. Number 7 is fully handicap accessible. So they all can be used
a
with,
bigger buffer zone, not a bigger court,
correct, just a bigger.
because that court looks bigger.
It is big. It is bigger, 100%. It like in actual life, it's bigger.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
courts?
No, I'm sorry. So this was, I needed help with
It's a rendering.
AI to change the colors of the courts and get the 7th because I couldn't find a 7, so I had to. But the court, every court is the same size. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about the actual.
No, it's 20 by 44.
It's exactly
all 20 by
the same as all
44.
the others.
Okay.
Just the
buffer zone. Yeah,
Thank you.
gotcha.
Can I ask a question about 6 and 7? So it's open play. You don't need a reservation and you don't need a pass. Is there a certain amount of time that people can play on the court? Like, could I show up at 10 and play to 12? what if there's a line of people that want to, how do you control? How do you control that?
So with open play, and correct me if I'm wrong as far as, so with open play, you can play as long as you want, as long as there's not a wait. Typically with open play is when you finish your match or regular standard game, that game ends, you come off the court. If you want to play again and there's not a big wait, you put your paddle in the little queue system and then you let them play and then you're back on. And games don't take too long sometimes, correct?
10, 15 minutes.
10, 15 minutes or so. And if they do show up and those two courts are full and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Good like me.
no reservation, you can slide onto those courts too.
So if I'm on two, in using it as open play, if someone shows up with a card, like how would I know if I were on the court that the person coming had a reservation?
So when they get a reservation, they get an email that goes to their account, so they can pull it up on their phone and they can show you.
Okay, so they have to print.
And then we'd ask you to move from that court. I wouldn't want to say, just move over to court 4, that one could be reserved later. You'd have to leave the court that they were booked on, because we don't know if that court's going to be booked moving forward. And so sorry, go ahead.
And there would probably be signage up there with the rules and the regulations. And you need to, if there's a line, you need to get off the court when you're finished and put your paddle in there.
And that's pretty standard at any open play court. So if anyone's playing or anyone's new to the game, there will be signage there too. And when I was talking with this too, so the way it works and the way Lexington does it too, the only person that needs to have a membership is the person that is reserving the court. So if you want a membership and your cousins come up, if you book that court and you want to bring your cousin, your son, your daughter, and they don't have a membership, as long as you are the one that booked that court, they do not need to have a membership.
I didn't know that.
But that person will need to be there.
That person must be there. I don't know if I said that.
It was on there.
Do they have to, but they don't have to be playing.
They need to be on the court. They need to be on the court.
Should we have more control over the fully accessible court?
Yeah, so I mean, if someone does come in, if it's a wheelchair and they want that one, meaning like have that one potentially
Instead of that one being open play?
I feel like that could be good point. I did think of that.
Yeah.
Maybe priority.
We don't want to push that away from anyone that could certainly utilize that court. So it could potentially make sense, move it to 5 and 6, and 7 be a reservable court with priority that you could get bumped off if you have accessibility.
I think that's a really good point because
Or if you wanted them specifically to be at an end, you could make them 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Right.
Instead of 5 and 6.
Correct. Right.
Yeah.
How are you policing court number 7? Like, there were visible disabilities as non-visible disability. How are you getting into that? There's a gray area as well.
I think we put it on reservations. I think we have to make note that court 7 is, fully accessible. I think there could be signage there too, stating that it is fully accessible. I can look in what other towns do that have fully accessible courts and see how often they are using, but I think what Giuseppe said is, making sure that we are allowing folks that need to utilize that court to have the first opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if somebody needs that court and it's reserved, but they're able to just say reserve court 4, could they contact you and say, hey, can we swap courts with me because this is the one we need?
Yeah, and let's solve the court.
It might be as easy as there can be a selection in the system so that you guys can be notified of a request for a switch for that purpose.
Yeah.
That way they have the same.
Yeah. If booking court 7, there is a possibility that you could be bumped
to a different court.
Court based under the circumstances of the individual looking to play.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Hey Jim, what's the name of the recreation, the new management rec management software? RecTech.
Yep.
Thank you.
but there would always be 2 courts available for open play, correct?
Yes, right now, that's what I'm proposing,
Uh-huh.
is that there would be 2 courts.
I think it's really important too. I agree with the scholarship in light of what's happening with the
Mhm.
town finances. I mean, those rates look pretty reasonable to many of us, but for some people, those rates might be very difficult.
Mhm.
So I think it's really important. I know EHS has a form that has to be filled out if there's a hardship for paying for something. So
We have the same one.
you have the
Similar, it's very similar.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Yep.
Figured it was a town form.
Any more folk comments before we?
Yeah, open up the public comment anymore?
I just wanted, because you were talking, what if we made court 7 reservable only for people with disabilities? Number 1. And
Yeah.
number 2 is I've been playing pickleball for 10 years all over the country. And in that 10-year time period, I have seen one person in a wheelchair down in Florida where they have 66 courts in that one park. And I was chatting with him, and he plays with fully able-bodied players.
Mhm.
So I just not very common to see wheelchair play. In fact, we were discussing at RPPA about trying to, maybe for the naming or the grand opening, whatever, trying to have a wheelchair game
Mhm.
assembled, and we've been looking hard trying to find people in wheelchairs who play. So I don't think it's going to be utilized by wheelchair people very often in general. That was my one comment. But also just a couple of things, profit center wise, I'm not sure, this particular park is going to be the only park in Reading that I'm aware of that would be a cost center, except for those that run leagues like baseball fields and things like that. And, I think the object here is to promote recreation. And we have raised a lot of money. We've worked long and hard to try and raise money. We've collected money from many non-residents, and the way pickleball is played is never just for the residents of the town. It is, intercommunity, far-reaching regional game. And we would know people in Westford, will know people all over New England because we bumped into them on a pickleball court or 2. So that's kind of the how the concept is, intercommunity. And a lot, like I said, a lot of non-residents gave us thousands of dollars toward these new pickleball courts. And another point I'd like to make is we passed this at town meeting. Believe me, I attended every single town meeting. It was, as you know, I'm sure you were all there. It's very long discussion about, monetizing these courts. Our budget was 5 million. That's what got approved. Came in at 1.2. We were able to secure the park grant. Thank you to your efforts. We gave $225,000. We're paying another $10,000 for the shade structure. We're continuing to do some level of fundraising on our own to try and offset costs. It just seems like, to me, we want to keep the costs down. No one represented at town meeting how much money we had to raise, just that we had to monetize these courts. And so I would like to keep it as fair and equitable as possible, even to the non-residents. And I don't think the numbers you presented, Jim, suppose I could live with, but I don't feel like we should be increasing those costs at all, not after all the effort that many, many people have put in and all the contributions that many residents and non-residents have made to make this happen. So, and then the last thing I want to say is, yes, towns charge, some towns charge. Woburn charges $25, no one ever shows up there. I'm telling you, you can play local, the playtime schedule. There's one player. They never play there. Lexington charges $205, but Lexington's also building a $1 billion high school. So, totally.
They're sold out to sell out of memberships
Yeah,
every year.
it's Lexington. Andover, they are free all of the time except peak times, weekends and evenings, and they pay the $75. And one of the monitors there, I'm a friend of, so he was telling me about how they do it there. But so that, and that's an open play format during those peak times. So, that's it, those are my two cents, and I would really like to see, because I'm not sure how enforcement's gonna go, but I'd really like to see this as nominal as possible, on the pickleball players, because there's a lot of us, and just seems like the most fair thing to do.
Can you repeat what you said about the accessible court? Do you think that should be only reserved for accessible?
So if we're concerned about people with disabilities playing, make that court reservable only to people who are. So right now it's open play,
but if
but then
someone
if
needs
someone
it,
wants to reserve
no
it,
longer open
that
play.
has a handicap, they trump open play.
They want for open play during that time. So it's guaranteed for them.
Yes, and I just don't think there's gonna be a barrage of handicapped players. Maybe my colleagues have seen it, but I have not seen it.
We're gonna try working on.
Just-
Curious for the first.
Because there's nobody with a wheelchair doesn't mean there won't be handicapped players and disabilities. Because as Bob said, there's visible disabilities and there's invisible disabilities. So you could pull up in a handicap placard and park in the space and get out of your car and walk to the court and still be handicapped, I assure you. And need to play there. So.
Well, they can play on any court.
I think the unique nature of that court is specifically designed for a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Like that.
I see what you're saying with the buffer zone, but when they're saying that there won't be that many handicapped people there because there won't be that many people in a wheelchair, I'm just saying that there are visible disability and there are invisible disabilities, and somebody could be disabled and not be in a wheelchair, and that was the point I was making.
Visual
The
movement.
woman that plays with us, she has a blocker and she plays at Memorial Park with us and she's fine. And she does have a blocker.
Standard.
But those with mobility issues, I'm sure you'd want a fence further away if you're going towards the sideline to mobility or visual. Instead of running into a fence, you'd want a bigger fence too. So yeah, they may not be in a wheelchair, but they have a visual mobility where they would benefit from using this court opposed to a smaller, more confined court, correct?
Yeah, or a child with a disability that needs space to run and you're trying to take him to play pickleball and he needs a little bit more room to move.
You by any chance have this and you could put it.
I didn't pull that up right now. I just wanted to get this all together and then.
So I appreciate your effort of charging for this, making this, that's a really nice approach. The thing is, pickleball is played a little bit differently than other sports. It's usually a group of people that play over multiple courts. So right now, to try to reserve the courts every day, people are on there at the hour, 2 hours before reserving the courts, and then we kind of open it to people. Well, what this shows is we're trying to break the courts down levels of play. So there's an advanced level of play, an intermediate level of play, and more novice level of play. When people take lessons now from through Reading Rec, they come out and they want to play, but they have nobody to play with. There's no infrastructure. So often the way pickleball plays is there'll be sessions where they can come for that level. So beginners, after they have the lessons, who do they play with? They don't know anybody else. But we have courts blocked off in a proposal we have. So people can then say, oh, I know I can play on Mondays from 8 to 10 on courts 4, 5, and 6. And there'll be other people at my level to play. If play isn't leveled, then it gets a little contentious. Yeah, oh, I don't want to play with you, or you're too good. I'm not good. It's contentious. But if it can be leveled play, then it encourages more people to come out and find their people, find who they want to play with. So open playing just the 2 courts is as we talked about that initially, but as we've talked more about it, talked to other people and play, we realized that 2 courts just doesn't quite do it, because then you're mixing all the different levels on those 2 courts. But we've come up with a scheme, so every morning and every evening, each group of players, the novice, the intermediate, and the advanced, will all have courts with other people where they can play.
Open play.
Open, and there'll be an open play,
Unlimited.
so people go in and play, and once they finish their game, they put their paddles in, next people go on, you mix it up. You don't just play with the same 4 people every time, but you mix it up, you meet more people. We often do winners and losers, or you meet new people to come play. You play with people you don't even know before, many from Reading.
So
You don't know them before, but that's the open play sort of format.
So if I wanted to play, like the hours there are kind of I guess the peak hours, that like the mornings you like
Mornings
to
and
play
evenings, yeah.
and then the evenings.
Yeah.
So if I had 4 or 8 friends that I just want to go with and I want to play with after work.
Yeah.
And I just didn't want to go into a play. I want to reserve a court for an hour, 2 hours. Could I do that still?
Yeah, there's some white blocks here, so on
Okay.
Saturday, on,
It just looked like there was a lot of those every single day. That's the only thing.
Mondays from 5 to 7, the 3 courts you can reserve,
Okay.
if somebody wanted.
Yeah, that's what I mean by being flexible.
What's that?
That's what I mean by being flexible. We can try that and then we're gonna be like, this isn't working. We can certainly adjust.
It's sort of, it's right now, like I'm saying, it's, unless the session is posted for a certain level, there's some levels that never ever get posted, so people don't know how to play. And that's why our open play sessions on Thursdays and Sundays are popular, because people say, oh, I can go and play and meet people. We try to divide it up by level on those 4 courts, which is hard. But we try, that's where people meet each other, and groups have launched from that.
Yep.
But it's a way to be inclusive of more people coming to play, it's encouraging that recreation.
So would folks, if they played on that Monday, 5 to 7, they found the group for that day, they don't need to have a membership or they're not paying anything? So they have the potential of going there every day, every week?
Well, we don't know how it fits in with your residents.
Okay.
So we did this independent of what your thinking was. And I like the fact that it's reserve courts, but it doesn't necessarily monetize it the same way it does here.
Yep.
But we also feel there's great opportunities for monetizing by having drilling sessions. Drilling is, I'm sure Carl knows, everybody wants to do drills. You're charged for drills, and people come and do drills. You charge for a ball machine. There's pickleball machines. You have a ball machine at the retail center, and you can rent out the ball machine and you hit balls over and over.
I like it.
There's other coaching besides just drilling, lessons for advanced players.
Yeah, we'll actually do some lessons.
And I think that those are all opportunities for monetizing. That may, in addition to maybe you have to pay to reserve, those would be other ways to monetize and raise more money.
And those value-added services are things people are going to be more interested in and more willing to pay for.
I don't want empty courts. No one here wants empty courts.
Right.
It's finding a balance.
And this is more the flavor of pickleball. You have open play sessions everywhere. How you do the open play is what we're trying to make sure it's a cooperative, it's open to everybody, nobody gets turned off. How you do the open to play is what we spend a lot of time talking about. So having a different level of open play.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the fee structure? Like
The what?
the fee structure, Jim?
Well, the fee structure for reserving courts, I think that's great. It just.
So the amount.
The amount.
The amounts.
Yeah, how do you feel towards that?
It's a little, I'm trying to roll it into the way we play now. So somebody will reserve three courts, I mean 2 courts. We have 2 courts for 2 hours and everybody else comes and plays. So you have to get money from all your friends. If you want to do it in a pickleball scheme where you don't know people, how do you collect money from people to reserve? Somebody just stands up and says, well, I'll pay for it, and they pay for it for the season. But I don't know how many people, I don't know what kind of money you're going to raise from this.
Do you think that's in the ballpark or not in the ballpark? Because I think we have to have some sort of.
Yeah, I think paying 50 a year, 30 a year is fine. I'm just not sure how much money that's actually going to raise.
That's fair.
Because you only need one member to reserve.
Because if one person reserved the
I
court.
see.
So.
And when we play-
A lot of ways to raise money.
And as you guys know, when you play
Yeah, I get
pickleball,
that.
you play with a lot of people and you mix it up. You don't play the same game with everybody the whole
Right,
time. You
right.
play with another group.
Right.
So I love the fact that Jim's was created this way.
Yep.
But I'm wondering if instead we can monetize by doing drills and lessons and.
Right, the add-on services.
add-on services.
Yeah.
That to me makes more sense too, because we don't want to be much different from tennis or basketball or anything else in the town. It just doesn't seem like a good idea. Why should this one sport be different and monetize every single play?
It's just they go back to town meeting.
Right, I
and
know, we have,
I know.
that's my time meeting. How you
Yeah.
So I have a question. So they're all open play unless a reservation comes.
Correct.
What would stop every single person, nobody buys a membership? Not one membership is sold, ever. And then they're just free all the time.
And we
What
just.
is stopping anybody from doing that?
Crowds and not being able to play when you want to play, and you can spend
Well,
$50 and over time it breaks
Because
down
all
to.
I'm thinking of is if that happens, then what everyone voted for at town meeting it's not happening, and there's no money being made, and there's
Can't control that though.
I was just thinking, what is there a safeguard in there? Has anybody thought about that? I think that's what I was saying.
I think one of the aspects is that because this is new and because whatever we put in place will get modified. Whatever we put in place, we will find something that worked great and something that didn't work, right? And then we'll adjust. And, to your point, Laura, like, yes, could the whole pickleball community collude to like not do
Right.
this?
Well, that's what I was thinking.
But also, all it takes is one selfish pickleball player who wants to work, and they're gonna do it, and then somebody else will do it, and somebody else. So, but yes, I think that, I think that whatever is for 2027 will be adjusted, maybe even on the fly, but certainly probably redone for 2028.
You're also gonna get a dry run for however many months it's open, once it opens up. in the
Correct.
fall.
That's
So
what I
you
didn't-
you can see, trial and error with that.
Yep. And then with the membership too, it allows me to see who's registering too. And if there are updates, I'm gonna have emails that I could send out to the group. So it'll certainly help me get the word out if things are happening or too many people are parking in the retail parking lot and they need to be over behind Burbank, things like that. So getting emails, I know there's ways we can do that are probably much easier, like sign up for the pickleball court newsletter or whatever, get updates on all the happenings. But I was looking at it that way too, just to give updates if like at the tennis courts are lights are out right now. If that was to happen, just to be able to communicate with folks, it would help a little bit, but.
Could the system stop somebody from reserving 2 courts at the same time?
Yep.
Okay.
Can I make one more question? One more point. Often I can see what would happen is people would reserve court 1 and 2 for 2 hours, and then they'd combine that into a group. What's my point? Oh, and if we have to reserve 2 weeks out like we do now, 2 weeks out, the person does the reservations, they might get sick, something might happen, and then they're not on the court. And that's what happens all the time now. People reserve it, their schedule changes, you already have 8 people going out there, the 8 people come out, they get a sub, the person reserved isn't there, or the 2 people reserved aren't there. So having to have those people that made the reservations there also is
Problematic.
problematic, yeah.
Yeah.
Not that people are trying to cheat the system.
No, I get that. My office will be all right out.
Yeah, right.
I'll be looking over there and know what's going on
And
and
this is not like people are trying to pull a fast.
No, I get that.
All of these courts
That'll happen.
It's because life comes in the way.
I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we'll adjust accordingly. We're not gonna fault anybody
Yeah.
for doing that in the system.
These are just all the things that go into where.
Yeah.
And that was part of the issues that we were trying to solve with the open play schedule.
Yep.
Trying to make sure that there's court time for all the different levels to play, so there's not that
Yep.
having to figure out how to get a court 2 weeks in advance and then shoot, that's
Absolutely.
change.
Does solve a lot of what now is craziness.
You
Solves
stop in
a
the
lot
middle
of
of
that.
things, you play from 10 to 12, 11 o'clock, you stop, I have to record back, you reserve a court, I didn't get it, you start to play and reserve. It's just.
And you will still get people reserving courts, I guarantee you. There'll be people, including me,
During those-
reserving courts
during
for
the
many,
blocks.
the many white blocks that are available.
Yeah, like I said, hopefully we have 7 courts, which I don't know what other town has 7 courts.
None.
To us. So I hope they do get utilized and I hope we come up with a way to
Yeah.
make it work for everybody.
I have to say, I really like your idea, and it might be all of your ideas, on accommodating different levels of play. That is so important. As a pickleball player from a long time ago, first became popular. And then as people got more skilled and played harder, some people are sports oriented, others just are there for the social and the fun of it. So I think somehow building that in, that's really important.
It builds community more.
Yeah,
As opposed
Yeah.
to getting people at odds with each other.
yeah.
I just have one thing.
Sure.
It's not a
Okay.
question. One of the things that I've seen on Facebook, if you can get out some sort of like comment or something, people think that this pickleball courts are, recently I saw 2.5 to 3 million. And you know how people are talking about the overall.
Yeah.
So if you could, I think the town is in it only for like 600,000 now, as opposed to town meeting approved
Mhm.
1.5 million. Can that be shared with the community? What
I could have
what
Katie,
the actual cost, what the
I'll
town
talk to
is
Jane,
actually.
Katie and Josh who do our communications and stuff on the town of Reading's Facebook page. Where are you seeing that being posted on? I try to avoid posting. Responding.
I've seen 1.5 and I've seen the other day, it was like 2.5 to 3 million. It was like shocked. I have no idea where they got it. I can't even remember where.
Yeah.
But if we could just
maybe a
put out,
flyer or
you
something
know,
like that over.
yeah, let people know that it's a significant class statement as it turns out.
Yep.
And courts are beautiful.
Yes.
Yes. And those fence posts will be lowered. You see the double fence posts there,
Yeah.
that's because they gotta paint the courts and they drop those down and they put the
Oh.
fabric on there. So it's not a double fence post up top. That's the bottom railing that's been raised so that they can paint under there. So-
Well, it's very exciting.
Could you get it out to the town meeting members specifically, some way?
That's a question I'll leave for
Yeah,
Jane.
still make it 2 million.
Laura can do that. Laura can do that.
Yeah.
Laura can do it.
I'll talk to Jane, just saying there's a lot of miscommunication going,
Misinformation.
going around.
That's one body that could get a
The courts.
in-person meeting.
Yeah, I certainly get that. And I want to post some photos too, but I don't want to stir up the pot right now with what's happening. If I post a photo of all the progress right there, I certainly understand people are gonna probably throw negative comments out there, which I don't want to do.
Jim, I just had a clarification on one of the comments you had on there was about if someone was running drills or clinics or anything, you needed to get approval from you. Is that only if they are charging a fee?
If they're charging a fee. So that's a very slippery.
That,
Okay.
It did, it said monetize, it did.
Yeah.
It did.
Yeah.
One of the paragraphs says if they monetize it.
an individual or organization wishing to conduct lessons, clinics, camps, leagues, and or any other organized activity must receive prior written approval.
I thought
It doesn't say
I
that.
said monetize something there, no?
No, it doesn't say that. I don't see it.
All right,
I'll add it in there.
Because we,
drills.
I mean, we do, you know, anybody reserving a court is kind of organizing either play or sometimes drills or something, and I wouldn't.
But they
want-
can't be charging.
Right, and they're not currently.
Yes.
I just have one more thing.
Yeah.
We do have a goal to try to get more accessible players out there. We do want to have, an exhibition game, as Mary Ann said, but maybe, I think ideal would be 2 wheelchair players and 2 non-wheelchair players to play. And then have the boys to the basketball group, wheelchair
Yeah.
basketball group that I've seen about, have them come and just, so we do have aspirations to try to open this up for more, because I know these folks, I just don't see them.
Yeah, we're trying to do a much better job with that, and we are looking to get therapeutic rec involved, and that's still hopefully happening. That position, we're not cutting that right now. Our part-time therapeutic rec when the recal opens up too, so we are still pushing for that too. It is much needed for sure. For a long time, we talk about it way too much, and we're going to make it happen.
That's what it is. I might change.
All right, I know we're getting up against time. So I'd like to cut off the public comment, but thank you
Thank
for
you.
all the public comment.
Meeting.
So, you know, Jim and team have taken all this feedback. We'll probably come back again, get some more feedback, refine until we all agree to what the structure is gonna be. All right?
Jim, is there any way that you can send that out
Yep.
to the committee?
I will send everything I put up here. And you guys can look at it, and if what you want to do is break it down and let me know your comments, and I can put it together. You guys can do the same.
Mhm.
You guys after this, bring it back here. We do have some time. Like I said, I'm not gonna do anything this fall. It's just gonna be on play local. And then, you know, we do want to do a big grand opening for this event sometime in the spring that we're gonna set up too, and the grass is all in. We've kind of figured out how this is gonna all operate. So appreciate all you guys. It was really good combos.
Thank you, Jim, quick question, I came late, I'm sorry. Does Memorial Park stay the same?
Memorial Park is gonna be a conversation for another meeting because I do get complaints from the neighbors there, and it, you know, it's probably gonna be one of those things where folks go down there, there may not be the portable nets that are out there. I'm sure some folks like that area and they're used to it, but we get neighbors who are behind there that every year they are calling about the noise and sometimes the parking down there. So I want to be respectful to them, and if we just built these courts that are brand new, it'd be hard for me to say we can continue to take a tennis court over when we just built a 7-court complex, but I'm open to conversations and inviting neighbors into, and not the end all to be all for all this stuff, but I certainly knew that was gonna come out.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, that's a good point.
Thanks for everything, putting that together.
No worries.
All right, so next item here is the draft naming policy for town fields, courts and buildings. So again, this is the discussion.
Yeah, I will go real quick with
Okay.
this one. I know we are behind the 8 ball and some folks want to jump on that Zoom meeting to see that. So 2 weeks ago, I was asked to present at the select board meeting. Jane Wellman asked me to, where's my from beginning? Here we go. Jane Wallman asked me to come up with my best shot at coming up with a naming policy for any town property, basically outside of libraries and schools. School departments have their own policies. So what I did is I looked at what the schools do and what other towns do. And I'm going to kind of just go through this quickly in respect of time to go over this.
Can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
So we're not long through it, can we shelve it for next meeting?
If someone wants to make a motion to do that,
I'm gonna make a motion to shelve this agenda item for next meeting.
And could you send
Yeah,
that
can we
presentation
get
to
that?
us prior to the
Yeah,
meeting? That
certainly.
would be good.
This is just a draft and a policy that hasn't been approved.
Yeah.
Any discussion?
I just have a question.
Go ahead.
You don't send a packet out to everybody?
What's that?
But why wasn't this sent in advance of the meeting? Why are we
We've
asking?
always had just the agenda and
And we don't get a packet.
so maybe that's something we should come
I
up with
think
a
that-
policy while we're coming up with our public comment policy as well as what should be in any packet.
So Jim,
Fire.
in the past, you have sent out stuff in some cases, yeah. So, I don't think there's a specific policy or rhyme or reason. I'd love to get stuff, and if they're going to be presentations, I'd love to get them in advance.
Yep.
I'm also fine with having something small that's already here.
Yep.
Like the amplified sound permits, like no need to send those out in advance. If it's a larger presentation, I think it's worthwhile sending out in advance so people can do a little pre-read, that way you don't have, that way you're not going through the granular stuff. I also understand there also might be times when you don't want people to necessarily have things in advance for one reason or the other, but but
What would that reason be? A public meeting, what would that reason be?
I don't know.
There is no reason.
Could be.
Hmm.
Can you name one?
Don't need to.
Yeah.
It's public meetings.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? If it's on the agenda, it should be in the packet.
Yeah, I think maybe we should redo so we've been working on a public comment policy.
Oh, no, I get it.
But I mean, it's something we'll talk about in terms of putting a packet together before our meetings as well.
So that it's.
I think it's very helpful.
Yeah, no, right.
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, but then sometimes there's a time crunch as well. I think we all acknowledge that.
Yeah.
Not riding you, Jim.
No, you're okay. I want to do it right. I want to do it right.
We get it, we get
First
it.
time and have a discussion.
We get it.
Doesn't.
We
It
get
was in
it.
the select board packet.
Not efficient.
Weeks ago.
Not efficient. Well, I'm not on the board anymore. I got bored.
No, I still watch it.
I think the select board, that's their protocol, their policy, their guidelines. But individual committees and boards can choose to do what they want to do. And Carlo is right, it is public. So once it's discussed, it's like out there.
It's in there, and this is on video too, but no,
Yeah.
it's gonna benefit, I think, folks for looking at it prior. It's gonna make the meetings go.
Sometimes
quicker.
Do we need to vote? I made a motion,
Yes.
Eric seconded, we need to vote, right?
We need a discussion.
Oh, discussion, discussion, yeah.
Any discussion? All right, let's do a roll call. Giuseppe, I'll let you go first.
Giuseppe Perry, yes.
Laura Noonan, yes.
Eric Gaffney, yes.
Laura Durgovich, yes.
Kate Kaminer, yes.
Bob Wyden, yes.
Rich Hand, yes.
Yes.
Right, so we'll move that. Do you want to keep the administrative one?
I mean, yeah, we got some stuff going on. I can keep it super short there. Like most people know what's going on. Ball courts right now, we're just waiting for the surfacing. They're waiting for good weather to get out there. Hopefully in the next 2 weeks, the surfacing will be down. They'll finish up with the fencing, the watering plants, getting the grass growing. And then it's just that road that they got to get down there, that double road down there. I don't want to say a timeline when they're going to be open up, but we're still shooting for the fall. I've set a date before, and Birch Meadow didn't open when it was supposed to open. So it's planned to open in fall. As soon as I get a hard date, I will let you know. Retail is moving along. They got the steel beams up in the gym. You can actually see the walking track going around the gym. If you haven't been down there, I recommend going down there. We buried a time capsule in there 2 days ago. We took a photo. drop some stuff in there. I did put a pickleball in that time capsule. So they will be wondering what this might be in 100 years from now. And then we are getting through summer, few little challenges with different things we've had a heat wave where we had to get kids inside and cancel some stuff. We've had the smoke where we had to cancel some stuff, and then just the rain stuff. So every day is constantly moving things around and putting out small little fires, but it's been a very successful summer season. Jenna is off. She's off until November for soon to be a mom. Very, very, very soon. Very soon. I don't want to say too much. So she'll be off till November, and then getting ready for some stuff coming up. And I'm going to just let Ed give a quick little report about what's going on with Ed real quick. You don't have to give program reports, but Ed's got some news.
Real quick, just an update from me. My wife and I have decided to move back to Vermont. This is kind of been going for the duration of a month. So Thursday is actually my last day. So I'm glad we can get a meeting in before that happens, so I can say my goodbyes and thank you for all your support. But yeah, it's happened quick, but
Yeah.
we're excited. It's bittersweet, so just want to share.
It's a good move. Ed has been great. He's been here for 3 years. He came in and he hit the ground running. I was new when I came back in, so I was able to get him a lot of stuff, and he picked it up very quick. I am hopeful we can get someone half as good as you've been, Ed. He's making the right move. He's going back to potentially, he's soon to be athletic director up at his old high school. It's good stuff for him. It's a very smart move. So I was encouraging him to do it and wishing him the best. So I'm going to be alone for a little bit. If you guys want to come visit me, come on and visit me. The job has been posted. It got posted on Thursday. It's going to be posted until filled. So if anyone is interested, send them to the town website. And hopefully, like I said, we can get someone in hopefully by mid-September or October. But I will hold the fort down and I will keep going.
Great. Well, thank you, Ed, for everything. Thank you for your energy and your passion and programming and listening and helping Jim and the town and the rec. So thank you. And I'm excited for you going back to Vermont. It's awesome.
We're in Vermont.
Springfield, Southern Vermont.
Yeah. That's your home. So welcome home. Yeah. So awesome.
Are you gonna miss the ski bus?
Yeah.
Don't answer that.
It's a unique program.
That's good. Grow up real quick in that bus.
Yeah.
So the minutes, we gotta look at
That's
the
when the
minutes.
minutes, we need to get these minutes approved. That's one thing we need to get done. They've been getting pushed and pushed because of joint meetings and then me inadvertently leaving them off the last agenda. So I did send those out earlier. I know Laura had sent me an email correcting attendance. I did adjust that on my most recent one. You're welcome. Thank you, guys. So you could do a motion to approve them all if you would like at once, correct? Or should we?
They're already amended.
What's that?
Our comments are already amended in the.
Just on mine, so why don't we?
Pull that out.
Which one was that?
So that was on the 428 one?
So you had sent an email with all of the minutes, and I looked at the March ones. And in the March ones that he sent out in the email, Alicia Williams and Eric Beamer was listed both for members present and also members not present.
Yep.
So I said, Jim, can I tell you in an email, or do I have to bring it up in a meeting? And he was like, tell me now and I'll send it out corrected.
Yeah, I
So
have
we
it.
sent out a corrected one
Yeah.
before everyone got here.
Amended ones. No, it wasn't the correct. I added it to mine, so that you need to vote to make that amendment on the
Okay.
323 ones.
So I make a motion. Can I make my own motion since I was?
Yeah.
I make a motion to correct the 323 meeting minutes to correct the attendance for Alicia Williams and Eric Beamer.
Second.
Any discussion? Let's have a roll call. Rich Hand, yes.
Bob Wyden, yes.
Kate Kamler, yes.
Laura Durgovich, yes.
Eric Gaffin, yes.
Laura Noonan, yes.
Septic Federi, yes.
Yes.
That's a yes. All right, that's approved.
Now you can combine all the minutes.
Okay.
So you've got all, do you want to just read these ones, the dates on?
Yep, so we got the here, May 5th, May 19th minutes, April 28th, and December 15th. Yeah.
Yeah, it came up and it was not on the agenda last time, so we couldn't vote on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So we need to make a motion to accept these three.
I don't have to remember the dates.
Just say so moved.
I'll make a motion to approve all mentioned minutes.
Second,
Any discussion? Do a roll call. Rich Hand, yes.
Bob Whiten, yes.
Kate Kamener, yes.
Laura Durgovich, yes.
Eric Gaffin, yes.
Laura Noonan, yes.
Stephanie Padero, yes.
Melissa Pucci, yes.
All right. So the minutes have been approved for December, April, and
March.
March. Yeah. All right. Need a motion to.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Any discussion? Let's do a roll call. Rich Hand, yes.
Bob Whiten, yes.
Kate Kamener, yes.
Laura Durgovich, yes.
Eric Gaffin, yes.
Laura Noonan, yes.
Stephanie Padero, yes.
Adjourned. Meeting has been adjourned at 7:55.